FC is hard as hell. United, Tottenham, Arsenal. Watch my lips, and I will spell. Cause they don't just play, but they can rap as well. Liverpool FC.
My idea was to go Liverpool.
Yes, people, welcome back to another episode of the Anfield South podcast. And you know what, yeah? You can hear little jovialness in my voice, because, you know, even though we've just finished watching Watford, Liverpool, final score, Watford 3, Liverpool 0. Just before we start, round of applause to Watford, please, because, yeah, I'm a football fan and I'm a realist, yeah. They outsmarted us today. They outsmarted us. But on a plus side, returning to the pod from the longest exile ever. I don't know where he was, what he was doing, but to my left is the real Sam. You know what I'm saying?
Sounding people. Made a little comeback, but boy, that was a long drive after that performance. But
and to my right, a fan's favourite, man. You know what I'm saying?
Bajan Bruce, but today it's Bruce Lee. So because I'm on Kung Fu shit today.
Licks today, boy.
It's on.
Anyway, listen, guys, let's get down to it, yeah? Listen, 3-0 defeat away to Watford. Where do we begin, man? Where do we begin? I mean, there you go. I'm asking the question, but I'm going to answer myself. That was the worst performance I've seen from us in, I could say, I haven't seen a performance like that since Klopp took over. I'm trying to think of a worse performance. Actually, Tottenham away at Wembley was a real bad performance. I haven't seen, that's the last time I've seen the performance.
Do you know what? Tottenham away at Wembley, we actually played all right. We just missed a lot of chances and all of our mistakes were punished. This was a shitload worse.
Proper.
A shitload worse. And do you know what's mad about it? From the Norwich game, a loss has been coming. A loss has been coming because we ain't played well for coming on 3-4 weeks now. And Norwich game, we got lucky, we pulled it out again, sort of Liverpool find a way type of shit. And I'm like, cool. But the West Ham game for me, that was the alarm bells. That was the real
shit. The fact that they could score 2 goals at Anfield and have us on the back foot was a real.
They should have taken something from the game.
100%.
Without doubt, we got lucky, and I think it's Paul that mentions arrogance a bit, and I think today there was a little bit of that, and realistically, we've got punished, and I'm still vexed, but I kind of feel like, well, it has been coming, and so now that it's happened, maybe it will kick us back into gear, and maybe it's a defeat that won't matter in the long run, obviously, and it's a time to have a defeat where we can reset because we've got big games coming up now.
I think that's key. The fact that the defeat doesn't affect the end product, our goal at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's a damaging defeat but not. Mainly, it's more damaging to our ego more than anything else, don't you think?
Do you know what?
Do you know what, Leroy? Let me cut you.
Go on.
It's damaging to my phone battery. That's what it is, yeah.
Listen, all you Arsenal fans.
All them Arsenal fans, yeah.
Piping up because we're not going to go unbeaten. Is that how mediocre inside you've become? That's the last thing you've got to celebrate? An unbeaten record, which was crap, insignificant compared to our last season's work. Mate, Arsenal fans, go look in the mirror, slap yourselves, and then bang your fucking feet in the door, and then slap your hands in the side of the door and shut it, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, seriously, get a life. But, yeah.
Sorry, Lee.
That's all right. No, it's fine. Where was you?
More damaging to our ego than anything, that defeat, though, wasn't it?
Do you know what? I've got to be honest. I spoke to you this morning, and I had a nightmare last night that we lost 2-0, but the game was ongoing, and I'd kind of woke myself up from this dream.
Was you sweating?
Mate, I was. Listen, it was mad. It was a nightmare. I'm not lying. It was a nightmare.
Hey, Leroy, don't tell me your juju's that good, you know.
Listen, I'm telling you.
I can't work with that, you know.
Listen, I woke
don't
up.
be calling me telling me you have had down dreams about nothing. I'm not interested.
It was bad. And my mum tried to make me feel better by saying, "Don't worry, son. It's normally the reverse." But in my heart, I knew it weren't right. Like, it was just mad. And then seeing us play today, yeah, we weren't at it. But do you know what? If anyone had said to you at the beginning of the season, Liverpool we're gonna have won all these games, we would have drawn one, and you're gonna lose a game here and there. I've said all along, the games against West Ham, Norwich, and this one was our toughest.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because for those guys, they've got nothing to lose. You're playing a team that has only dropped a point, like a game. So they've dropped 2 points, so to speak, and that's all that's happened throughout the whole of the season. So when you look at it like that, you got to say to yourself, these guys have rose up and thought, we're going to give it a go. You've got to at some point drop your form, not form, but you're going to go into games where you're going to get lucky.
That's the right word. Your form has to drop.
It's going to. It's just normal. But for us,
it's whether or not you have the luck and that little bit of magic,
100%.
like against Norwich, to ride out the dip in form.
100%.
So
that lad, the boy that scored for them today, there's 2 goals.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone remembers, but I remember all these things. I thought he had a good game against us. He missed a sitter.
Yeah.
They had another chance. They did all right against us at Anfield, and that was back then. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Football is a game that can be easily won and lost, and it's all about taking your chances. That's all it is. Today, they took theirs.
Well, you look at before they score their first goal, if Robertson actually believes that he can score,
with that strike,
then we're one up.
Yeah.
And then that changes the whole complexion of the game.
But you know what, Slim? You mentioned it last week about Robertson. He always gets in those positions. And you know what the thing winds me up the most? He never goes across goal.
Amen. Hallelujah.
And I'm like, I'm looking at him. There's only one place you can score. There's only one place where the ball can ricochet out for a tackle. But every single time he gets there,
the keeper.
It's at the keeper.
At the keeper down his throat. And you're just like,
I know you're not.
Cut across it. Cut across it. Aim for the far corner. If the keeper gets across, he maybe tips it out. You know Salah's coming in at the back post. You know Firmino's in there. Possibly Wijnaldum's on the edge of the box. So there's things that can happen. And if I just want him to believe that he can score. Just believe, Robbo.
It's like, it's head down, hit it as hard as you can. And he doesn't actually take the time to say, you know what, the whole of the right hand side of the goal is open, you know. All of it. Yeah, but he just doesn't believe. He doesn't believe.
It's crazy. But like you said, Lee, football is just a game where anything can happen.
At any time.
At any given time.
Trust
no
me.
matter how on top you are or underneath you, below, you know what I mean? How down you are, things can happen, man. And like I said at the top of the show, man, credit to Watford, man, because they had a game plan,
100%.
and they stuck to it. I mean, they were happy to see Van Dijk and Lovren passing that ball round the back. They were happy and someone to drop out of midfield and take. They said, yeah, you want to play there, take
your
it.
thing.
Anytime we got the ball forward in sort of advanced positions, bang, 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 blocks there, and they were snuffing out. There was not many gaps in between the lines for anyone to get into. The two, it was like a bank of 6 and a bank of 4 were just like so close together.
Do you know? For me, the one thing, like, and this is a criticism, but it doesn't, like, I don't want people to take it as I'm like, picking out at us. But in games like this, like against your Watfords, I would like to see people like Minamino start and you rest these other guys. Reason being, not resting them for thing, but what it is throughout the week, Watford would have had a plan and they would have gone to this plan. You start with Origi, Minamino and say, I don't know, Lallana or something, or even Ox or something. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, we didn't plan for this.
You messed this up now.
And then they're panicking, trying to...
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, in the game, if it's 0-0, you might bring on Salah, then you might bring on Mane. You finish with those front 3, but what you do is that you just throw a little bit of an audible in there and you mess them up. That's what it is. And I just think sometimes, because what it is, if you see this team playing week in, week out, we've done it so well for so long, and at some teams we've just literally been beating them with a pole, and then we get that goal in there. But you got to think sometimes the rubber, the green don't go your way, and when you don't get it, what happens then? So you just got to change it a little bit sometimes, just to give. That's the only thing. But it's not a major criticism for us, because I take it. We've been fantastic.
No, it's a really, really good shout. I just wonder how we would react, as a group, the Liverpool group. If that starting lineup had been changed completely, and we had what you had, let's say we started with Origi, we started with Minamino and Lallana, would we be looking at it and saying Klopp's disrespecting this team and thinking that, we're just going to go over there and roll them over? Because you always should really start with your strongest 11. I understand what you're saying though, but in terms of throwing a curveball at them, that would have been wicked because they wouldn't prepare for that. You're right. No. But considering how disjointed we were anyway, don't you think that might have had an adverse effect on how we'd have played? Because them guys are not used to playing with each other. And it showed today, even with 2 changes, let alone 5.
Yeah, but you say they're not used to playing with each other. They train together. Everybody knows what Klopp's been good at this season is whoever comes in knows the plan.
Back that up 100%.
Yeah? So
100%.
if he changes it to that degree, you expect no difference in the terms of what is expected of them to do. There might be a difference in what they're capable of doing because, different players, different levels of talent. But what they're expected to do and what the job is, they should all know. So as to Lee's theory of throwing a curveball, I'm backing him on that one. Maybe throw a little curveball just to give them something else to think about, because then you look at Marnie when he comes on against Norwich with the class he has. That's what's capable of happening, especially if you know a team like Watford struggling are gonna put in a low block, everyone behind the ball. You've got to do something different. To go with the same team is great in theory, but you have to do something different because this team is gonna come and gonna sit and be very difficult. Now, you might be saying to yourself, you expect the talents of the front three to break it down, but how many times this season have we seen that they struggled to break it down? So. But hindsight's a wonderful thing. It's easy for us to sit here and say this now, isn't it?
Do you know what, though, Slim? I meant to call you this morning and talk to you about English grit. And why I was worried about this game more than any of the others in this little run against teams we're supposed to beat. Because you take out Henderson, all right, you're missing a big presence in midfield. Big miss. Big presence. And his ability as well, because let's face it, as Paul said, he's actually our most creative midfielder. Yeah. Right? But you take out Milner as well. Who's putting in those tackles? Who's screaming at everyone? There was none of that, And then, I love Van Dijk, but it's not him.
Hey, do you know what? And I said it last week about Van Dijk as captain. I don't think he's captain material.
No. He is captain material. Not as a named captain on the pitch.
Yes.
Like when there's others there, he doesn't need the armband.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think, especially if you throw in as well the fact that he was playing with Lovren, who I'm sure we're going to come to at some point.
100%.
Yeah. But he's actually concentrating more on his own game. Yeah, to affect everyone around him. Yeah, and all of that leadership stuff, he doesn't need to do it as much when Gomez is there. So him having the armband, for me at that point, it was an extra hassle, it was an extra weight. And I think it showed today because he was struggling.
That's what I mean about him not being captain material, in the sense of I just don't think he brings enough of what's needed as a captain for me to have the armband. Like, for argument's sake, Henderson, the way Henderson can rally the troops, like you said, the way Henderson gets about. You watch Henderson get about the pitch and put tackles in. That's going to fire you up a bit. Yeah. Van Dijk is very Rolls Royce, as they call him, very relaxed and cavalier about how he does it and how he does his thing. That is not the actions of a man that makes you think, let's get it. Do you understand what I mean?
Do you know what you've actually hit on the nail? There's not one player we have, apart from those two English guys, who lead purely by example.
Exactly. That's my point. Whilst Van Dijk is an excellent defender and an excellent player, and he's probably great at marshalling that back four, I just don't see him as a leader on the pitch in terms of, come on, boys, like, you know what I mean? Battle, let's go, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just my opinion. And like you said, that's why you give it to Henderson. That's why you give it Milner as vice captain, because though, like I said, you see them two flying into a tackle. You know what I mean? I'll be honest with you, the only other person on the pitch that does that is probably Robertson. But anyway, listen, let's go into the changes, because usually we don't really do the lineup, but the changes, we'll definitely do the changes, because the changes were Cato was dropped, Oxlade-Chamberlain coming.
Cato was injured again, can I just mention? Cato was injured again.
Yeah, let's not do the Cato thing, man. You know what I mean? Shock horror. You know what I mean? Tripped over a blade of grass. And then Gomez was out as well.
Fake African.
Gomez was out as well, so Lovren come in. Now, I've been an advocate for Lovren as a good fourth choice centre back. Oh, you're gonna sit back now, yeah?
Go on, watch this go on.
Yeah? All right, cool. So I've been an advocate for Lovren. I've a good fourth choice centre back, but today his deficiencies showed. I think the biggest thing for me was how uncomfortable he was against a big centre forward, and also covering in the channels or at right back. Gomez is so good at dropping into that right back channel and sweeping things up that you could just see Lovren. He was just panicking. He panicked anytime Deeney was up against him. He was panicking. He did not know what to do. And Lovren, thanks for signing my shirt, but you got to sit down, my G. Now I can't defend you anymore. That was a shocking performance from you, bruv. That's all I got to say on that.
I'm the same. I echo what Slim says.
The man's making you stutter and shit.
No. I echo what he's saying, because at the end of the day, I felt this season there was times when he stepped in No one can take it away from him. He stepped in and he didn't do too badly. But then it's horrible. But it's like a game like today just makes you throw him on the pit, like, innit? But he was really uncomfortable. There was points in the game where the ball. There was a point where it was on the right hand side. It's bounced up, and the way he's tried to kick it, it's like kind of gone off ski whiff, and I'm like, bro, just take a couple deep breaths and just relax. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not that deep.
The panic is just visible for
Lovren is
everyone
serious.
to
Giddy,
see.
giddy, giddy, giddy,
I don't know
giddy,
what it
giddy.
is.
His problem is, that's what we would say out of his giddy, giddy, giddy. He doesn't know to take a breath and just chill.
Just relax,
and
man.
it's like that nervous energy and that anxiety to do so well makes him do so badly.
Yeah.
And it takes a good run of games for him to calm down and actually play his game. Yeah. But to be thrown in on the cold, I don't know the lesser of two evils. If you think back to who did we play in the FA Cup when we had that 2-2?
Shrewsbury.
Yeah, and it was Lovren and Matip,
yeah.
and they were both ropey as fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the lesser of two evils. When they've not played and haven't got rhythm and they've come back off injury, what do you do?
I'll be
I'd have
honest
took Matip though.
No, you see,
Who's the
I
worst?
disagree with you because
Go on.
Lovren is a bit more physical. Excuse me. So I feel like against
What, for this
Deeney-
game that you're talking about that?
For this
Okay,
game.
okay,
Against Deeney,
okay,
from the start on paper, I would have said definitely Lovren. But I didn't expect him to be so handsy and so nervous. I expected Deeney, I tell you what, I expected Deeney to rough him up a bit, but Van Dijk to clean up. That's what I really expected. But he was very handsy. There was a time where he had his hands, he was like feeling his breasts or some shit. Like he had him pinned in the box. And I was like, damn, this is fucking close for a penalty. Do you know what I mean? And he was just, he didn't want Deeney to go anywhere. He was so nervous. I didn't expect that at all.
So let me ask you then, in terms of the two of them, him and Matip's a guy that likes to step in front to try and nick the ball. Wouldn't you have preferred that against getting involved in a physical battle with Deeney, which you know is Lovren's weakness throughout?
No, because the opportunity to get in front wouldn't have come today because Watford don't play that way. It's not like they play it into Deeney's feet where he could try and nick in and maybe foul him or whatever. They play it in the air for Deeney.
You don't think
They
Matip,
play
you
for
don't
the
think
second
Matip
balls.
would have had a chance in the air more than
too
Lovren?
weak.
Look, no, he's too weak, but he
He's too
doesn't
weak.
grapple. And Lovren, a lot of the time today, from what I saw, he wasn't even jumping. He had his arms all over him, trying to almost reach over to get the ball. It's like if you challenge for the ball as opposed to challenge the man, you've got to split your priorities there because he was all over Deeney more than the ball. And for me, I think Matip has a little bit more intelligence, and he knows I'm not going to outstrength this guy, so I have to do something different.
I would have gone with Matip myself when I think about it. Maybe echoing again what you're saying about trying to nick the ball and stuff, but more so that he gives us, I find, he gives us that thing. I don't know if you don't notice, he'll carry the ball sometimes. And you see when you do that, when you start doing that, now you've got to make it.
defenders.
Yeah, you're making these guys
Yeah,
make a
you
choice
commit-
now. They've got to make a
You commit the
decision.
midfielders.
100%.
Yeah.
So now things start moving around. Your flat banks are full and not so tight now because someone's got to come to it. And then there's a gap somewhere. There's a hole. Can you find it? And that's kind of, I felt, what we needed because I don't know, sometimes when we're like us against West Ham, we were banging on the door. Like I can't, although they did get that, they made it 2-1. We made it 2-2 at the right time. And then we were just banging on the door, banging on the door. Today, had Lallana even got that goal where it hits the post and goes out, I think the game might have changed then because I think they would have been like,
a bit more
oh
belief.
shit.
Yeah,
Like,
Watford would have been like, wow, we've got it. Yeah,
they've been in that position before, but they've given away goals.
Yeah.
But once that went by there, because that's the other thing when I was talking about going back to me saying to throw him a curveball. Yeah, I don't mean to go on about this, but what it is when you're playing a team like us, and like for example, you got Mane, you got the same front three, and what happens is wave after wave of attacks come. And nothing's really happening. You're just soaking it up, and you gain more confidence with it. But as I say, if you had different front three mixed up, and you bring that other guy on, now it's a problem because the guy who's had this natural rhythm against, say, Origi, now it's like, oh shit, now I've got to deal with Mane. I've got to deal with Mane.
Who brings a whole different
20
thing
minutes
with him.
now, I've got a 70th minute, 20 minutes of this guy. Oh my God, it's long now. He's going to have you stretched, doing all kinds of things. But when you've had the same old thing, you know this guy is not really going to come. He's got to do something out of the ordinary to get you now, innit? You know what I mean? But I'm not really, I thought I would actually have been more bothered. After talking to you this morning, I thought I would have been more bothered about it, but I'm not really bothered because these Arsenal guys are getting at me and saying what they're saying to me. But when Arsenal were invincible, really, what did they do at that time, did they dominate English football like Liverpool and United have done? No, they didn't. They didn't. For me, when we spoke on TalkSport, I said to those guys, they asked me, would you rather lose a game in the Premier League and win the Champions League in the Premier and the Premier League, or go invincible and just win the Premier League? Mate, all day long, two trophies, please.
Yeah.
Because trophies, it means you're winning prizes.
Yeah.
You're a team dominating. I'm sorry, guys.
No,
I'm sorry, but it's how I feel with this thing.
Stop apologising, man. This is the platform for us to express our opinion, man. Stop apologising. It's cool. So I think, I'm going to say it again, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I don't think today was a day for Lovren. I mean, he didn't have a great day at the office. But then to be fair to Lovren, not a lot of people did. Now, I want to talk about the passing in the first half and how slack it was. I mean, I've never seen so many misplaced passes. I don't think there's a player who didn't misplace a pass. Wijnaldum, usually so reliable. Fabinho, Trent, all of them. Salah, Mane even was sat with passes, playing hospital passes. Like, you know when they do the good thing, and then the little layoff needs to be. Bro, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. We were lucky to go in 0-0 at half time.
Do you know what? I agree on that score. I mean, from what I saw the first half, because I was driving for most of it, but I saw that they got sent out early in the second half, and I was like, you know, Klopp's giving them a rocket.
Tells the story.
He's giving them a rocket. We're going to come out and we're going to string some passes together, gain our confidence again, and then we're going to put some moves together. But it got worse. And I'm still struggling to understand why that was. Yeah, it's all right to be disjointed when you've got a couple of players that don't normally play. Fair enough. But the quality eventually should shine through. And it just wasn't there. And I was watching the second half and I was thinking to myself, rah, it feels a bit like the old days. We're going to lose this game. You know what I mean? We're going to lose this game. And at that time, it was still 0-0. But I thought to myself, rah, what's actually happened? And I thought about what Paul mentioned about us being a bit too arrogant when we go to certain games. I thought to myself, nah, it's not that, because they've got the rocket now. They know that second half they've got to turn it up. But it was just still, it was lackadaisical, it was lazy, there was no fluidity, there was no rhythm. And I can't understand why it was so bad. Don't get me wrong, I've seen poor performances, but we've still had a threat going forward. Yeah, we still look like we're going to score.
We could score a goal or two.
You know, but today, when I'm hearing, I saw that stat at the end of the first half about the lowest ever shots we'd had on target under Klopp, and this was the joint lowest ever. One shot on target, and that remained for the whole game.
We could still be playing now, and I don't think we'd score a goal.
I think they've done the homework. I think what they've done is they've because this is what they do. These boys, they'll sit there. The managers will screen and watch what they need to watch, and they'll say, right, Robbo wants to do this every time. Yeah, we've seen this in the last 3 games. This is what's happened. They've come stuck a bit against like Norwich, West Ham, and Atletico in that way. Yeah, and this is what you need to do. So they would have spoken to these boys and drilled these boys and just do that job. And when I looked at it today, as I say, I'm a football fan first. Those boys have all done their jobs. Everyone's done their job. And everyone does your job, the team don't score. That's what it is. Simple as that, like, innit? But what it then needs from us is you boys need to do something a little bit different to what you would normally do, because these guys are watching everything you do, innit?
And I think we kept the ball at the back for so long. The ball kept going Van Dijk, Lovren to Trent, back through to Fabinho, then back to the back, and then back across, and then to Robertson, and then I just felt like
that's not different from what we normally do, though.
But the thing with today, it just felt like, I could be just because we lost, or but it felt like it was happening more. There was no thrust. I think Salah had the ball played through to him probably about 3 times I can count. 3 times he had it played into his feet. Now, okay, admittedly, Salah's hold-up play isn't the greatest, but things can happen off of the back of that. There wasn't many times I saw someone trying to thread that pass through. Because, I mean, ultimately, if you're playing against a team who are going to sit, the passes need to be quick. If you're going to take 2-3 passes to pass it from left to right or right to left, it's easy. They're just going to shuffle across. And that's what I mean by it seemed like it was happening too much today. The passing across the back. Van Dijk was practically in midfield and he had the ball. They're okay with that. They were okay to see the centre-backs have the ball. So someone's got to now take that ball and, like Lee said, do something different. Commit a man. The one time I saw Firmino commit a man, the space opened up and they panicked, and I saw 2-3 men run into Firmino on the ball. And I know there was space. He didn't get a pass off, but that's the kind of thing that needs to
100%.
happen. If
100%.
you lose the ball in the final third because you've tried to take a man on and open up space, personally, I'm not mad at that because that's the final third. We can all get back and we can win the ball back.
100%.
So, but there was no bravery on the ball. That's no bravery whatsoever from anybody. Ox
Ox a little bit. I saw a couple of driving runs from Ox.
I mean, I don't think it was enough today from Ox.
Do you know, I'm just thinking to myself, you know what? I'm actually sitting there thinking to myself, who today actually showed me like trying to grab the like get the bit between the teeth and really go out and try and do something. I'm sitting there thinking, who stands out? And honestly, even if you're saying this too, I mean, it just weren't enough though, innit? Like, you know what I mean?
That's
It's
exactly
just
my
like,
point. It
yeah,
wasn't. It doesn't. Nothing.
on.
Ox had
Great
the ball
shout.
and did what? Nothing.
Yeah, man.
Nobody took the game by the scruff of the neck and just tried to be brave. Like I said, it's when we're sitting there watching the game and someone tries to do something and they lose the ball, everyone, because like I said, third time I'm going to say it, hindsight, wonderful thing. You think, you shouldn't have drove with the ball, you should have passed it. But at least that shows me that you are trying to do something today.
Trying to open something.
Nothing. You know what I noticed? As soon as the centre-backs had the ball, you saw Mane or Salah looking for that ball over the top. Robertson. I'm like, come on. Like, I know we've got that in our locker, but play football, man. Play football that I know we can play. Move that ball, play it in between the lines. Show me something. Midfield has got to be better. Midfield has got to be better.
So let me ask you then, what Paul mentioned earlier on. Do we need to be looking for another centre midfielder?
100%.
Yes, 100%. Definitely. Oh my God.
So you're saying these links we've got this with Havertz from Leverkusen. Yeah. Do you think there's any validity in us bringing someone like that in?
No.
All right, let me finish.
No.
With the players that we have at the moment.
No, I don't think we're looking at any midfielders. I don't think we are looking at any midfielders. We are overrun in midfield with players. I don't think we're actually looking at any midfielders.
But you feel we need to?
100%.
But we're not going to because our creativity don't come from our midfield, and that hasn't done for years.
But it needs...
So realistically, like as much as we've been screaming for it from the season before last with the Brexit midfield, it's not going to change because our creativity comes from our fullbacks, doesn't it? So,
but we need something different. We need to have a plan B.
I think I said in our last.
Hold on, are we overreacting slightly? Yeah.
About this loss?
About us needing a plan B because we've not needed a plan B the whole season.
Okay, but we might not have needed a plan B all season, but you never know when you're going to need a plan B.
I think, to be honest, we've come, like, one of the things that that you used to say, which was, if plan A ain't working, try and execute plan A some more, like, kind of thing, yeah?
Right,
that's
there you go.
That's what we've been doing.
No,
However, I'm not taking away from it. I don't want to take, this is the little thing I want to add to it, but I dare to say the man's name in Coots, yeah? But I used to say to you, I've been saying to you, I want a midfielder that can get the ball and have a dig from outside, or get it cut across, boom, or even let it just come across his body and boom, like that. Where is that? Where is that? I'm being honest, like that. That's the one for me that I wasn't even a midfielder as a forward, but I love to see that. I don't know, it's because we've grown up on Stevie G and that, but I want to see that. I'm sorry, I want to see that. Naby was the guy meant to bring that to me.
That's supposed to be Ox, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know he doesn't do it often enough, but he's got it in his locker. He's the only midfielder we have that can hit one from 25 years and can go top bins. But obviously he doesn't do it enough.
Really see him. Yeah, but Ox isn't hit with finesse, in my opinion. I think he just hits with power. He doesn't hit enough with finesse for me, which hence why he doesn't get enough from outside of the box. Coutinho, he had finesse, power,
every time.
whip.
You couldn't stop it, you know. You see it coming, side, whip, bam. You couldn't stop it.
You couldn't stop it.
I'm sorry.
Whilst I have said it before,
sorry, lads.
Leroy's in pain, boy.
Oh God, that one hurt me though. Still, I make it like it never did, but it did. I'm sorry.
no, whilst I've said plan A and plan B is to execute plan A some more, to know that there is a plan B on the bench would help. Do you know what I mean? And yeah,
I think it's more the mix-up, you know. I don't think necessarily. I know you're saying about Plan B, but if you have a player of that kind of cut, like that kind of level, you like it's good to have that guy. Either he don't have to. You couldn't keep someone like Coots on the bench. I'm not saying. I'm not. It sounds like I'm really waving this guy's flag, but I'm just saying.
Right now, you could continue to be happy on our bench right now.
But I'm saying that you have a guy like that can play. I don't know, 4 or 5 games, and then you may not need him in certain games, because certain games you don't need that kind of guy, but there's games you do need that, like, innit? I just felt this season there has been games where it's been really tough for us, and they're the games that people go, oh, you know, Liverpool didn't play that well, but actually they're the games that I look at and go, actually we played bloody well, because we kept going and kept digging and kept digging. We didn't create nothing today. That was what made us look really bad, but they let us have possession.
They were happy for us to play.
They're happy with us to keep that possession. And a lot of other teams are gone. They're going to have the possession.
But you got
let them have it.
Our possession is always at the back. We don't keep possession in the midfield or up front. It's always at the back. So whilst our possession stats are impressive, if you look at who's had the ball the most, it'll be between one of the centre backs, the left or the right back. It's never going to be a midfielder.
But it's when we one thing that we've been really good at is we'll do this, yeah, and then what happens? That transition from this to up here is quick. It's like a blink of an eye. I mean, before you know it, you got Robbo or Trent coming down here, and there's all kinds of problems for
but
whoever
that
it is.
passing the ball like that,
around here, like this,
that relies on somebody coming out. Watford will not move today
because they
for
know,
love nor money.
and that's what I'm trying to say to you. They done their homework, and I really did think that they would have said, right, guys, the Normski's not working, so this is what we're gonna do, innit? We're gonna flip it a bit and. You come here and you pick up. I didn't see that.
Is that arrogance from Klopp?
I didn't see that. I'm
Was
sorry.
that, was
I didn't
that arrogance
see
from Klopp to not?
I think it is. And
Could well
like
be.
I said, you got to base it on how this season's gone. Every time we've come up against a problem or a team that's sat like this, we've just kept on going, kept on going. And the same thing we've been doing has eventually worked. In that we've gone from side to side, gone to side, and someone's pinged it into a forward who's laid it off. Ox or a midfielder's come in and laid it wide to Trent. Pops it into the box, goal. And it's happened time and time again. So why is he really going to look at it and think, well, we have to change? Because he's probably told them in the dressing room that, yeah, you haven't done enough. You haven't done enough, and they've been all on top of you. But keep going, boys. Keep going. Keep going. Keep. You know those pet triangles? Yeah, Man City always play the same way. Yeah, he never changes. Always get that back post finish for Sterling. Yeah, keep on going. Believe in what you're doing. Why is he suddenly going to throw a curveball and tell them, no, don't do this anymore? Especially as they haven't trained on it. Especially as they hasn't been drilled on anything different. I can't, although you might call it arrogance, it's a fine line between arrogance and being really sure of what you believe in and knowing the proof's in the pudding that you've done it for 3/4 of the season already. And it's worked. And so, although he probably didn't expect this defeat, you can see he probably saw it coming, but thought, no, I'm not going to change it. I'm going to carry on. I believe. Because if he starts to waver now, and the players don't believe in what they're doing anymore, then it's all tits up, innit?
Yeah, it all capitulates.
You know?
Yeah, 100%. Can I just say, yeah, that the passion we're throwing into this discussion about this game, yeah, shows how much the unbeaten record meant to us. Even though you said that you would take a loss in the Premier League to win the league and the Champions League, it meant a lot to you. Because I know the only reason I'm upset that we lost is because we're not going to be unbeaten. Because, like I said, we're 20-odd points clear. we're not being caught. We have to lose 7 games now to be caught, and Man City have to win them all, and we still need to win 4 games. So I don't know about you. I just know.
Nah, come on, Sim. From ages, it's been me and you in the group. They've been like, yeah, we want to be unbeaten. No one else cared in the group. Yeah. No one else was interested. They were like, fuck them Arsenal guys. Don't worry about Arsenal. But me and you were the ones who wanted that. Yeah. Yeah, and it hurts.
It does. It does to know we're not going to go the season unbeaten, because I think
I can't even front, man. Like
no, after last season, the way we played last season and how we played this season, I just felt we deserved it, and I just wanted that marker put down in the Premier League of how good we really are, and to know that we're not going to get it. I mean, it still would be a great season to win the Premier League and have only lost one and drawn one. That would still be a great achievement in my eyes, but yeah. Unbeaten record, it meant a lot to me, man.
Like I say, I thought that this morning I was like, man, I said to you, I'm loving this fact that we ain't been beaten, innit? But I've always been a thing of, it don't matter, as long as I get to see my club pick up the trophy,
100%.
and give that a shake with the tassels on it. I'm good. I am good. And right now, and still, as I've been putting it out there, we're sitting on 22s right now. Yeah, no one can't tell me nothing, bro. I'm telling you that now. Be proud of what your team is achieving right now. Honestly, guys, as long as for me, if we manage to do Champions League, get to Champions League final, yeah, and we win this Premier League, wow.
It'd be a great season.
Wow.
Do you know what the other byproduct of losing today is? The fact that we could win the title at Man City.
Oh yeah, because now it's gone shifted the game, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Away at Man City, isn't it? Yeah.
But that gives them a bit of thing. I'm just glad
that game's going to be fire, you know.
Yeah, it's going to give them a bit, because they're not going to want to hand it over like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All in all, today
they've just prolonged it.
Today, a disappointing result, but we can't be too glum.
I'm really not.
We're still top of the league.
I'm happy.
The title still is on the M62 heading towards Liverpool, so can't be too mad at it.
I'm cool. I am mad cool with it, honestly. I just don't want you gooners talking rubbish, because seriously, your team hasn't even hit the safety mark yet of 40 points. I don't want to hear
relegated.
it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, yeah?
The thing is, how can they even chat to us? Their big bad captain was balling.
Yeah.
Balling. Yeah?
Wait, hold on.
Like man missed.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Crying in the round, was it a round of 32? Crying in the round?
No, it was round of 86 or some shit like that, yeah? Man was balling like it was the World Cup final for Gabon. Yeah? Did you see the real big man eye water, you know?
It's mad.
And you got the cheek to message me.
Mad.
No. Know your place, man. Come on.
Listen, these men want to talk to us, and they made Europa Cup final just last season in where Baku. That sounds like a boss on Street Fighter, bro. You know what I mean? And they got pumped as well. No,
by a team who didn't even need the cup because they'd already made the Champions League places.
Behave now, seriously, relax. If you want, sit there and say yes. They didn't take our thing, and allow it. Don't come out and get excited. It's long. Seriously, I've got too much firepower for you lot right now. It's long.
Do you know what though? Didn't you just show me their official Twitter account?
It looks like their official Twitter account tweeted few. Like, phew.
This is big for them.
It's mad.
It means a lot.
Wow.
It means a lot.
Listen, you know what? I tried not to really go at this club, but when they pipped Spurs to 4th or something, do you remember the celebrations that they gave off? It was embarrassing.
It was wild.
You've qualified. They talked to me about how many times have you seen your team lift the trophy? How many times have you made Champions League? And how many times you've actually done anything? You made a cup final.
And you know what? Anyway, let's not even waste any more airtime.
Goodbye, guys.
Bruv. Yeah, man. See you later, suckers. All right, cool. So we take the defeat on the chin, and we move on. Next league game is Bournemouth at home, isn't it? So I'm looking for a huge reply. And I don't mean 6, 7, 8-0. I just mean total domination.
Thank you.
Total domination
100.
on the pitch. That's what I want. I don't care if the score is 1-0.
Yeah.
But I want it to look like that 1-0, Bournemouth never even touched the ball. So that's what I'm looking for. So let's see, because I mean, we've got Atleti coming. What is it, a few weeks? There's a few games before Atleti comes. There's another 3 games.
Chelsea first, then Bournemouth, then Atleti,
So I need to see a reaction.
Because people forget, like when we played Leicester after coming back from being in the World Club Cup, like even myself, I was like, this is going to be a mad one. Blew them away. Sheffield United blew them away. Their their manager even said, right, we didn't even put a glove on them. There's been points in this season where but you're gonna get this. You have there has to be a slight dip. Even if we had gone the whole season unbeaten, next season now, we could have hit what City are hitting now, because City have been like bang. Even last season, it was a little like they dropped 2 points, and now this season it's just mad for them, innit?
It's crazy.
But it's mad for them. But at the same time, we have set the bar so ridiculously high. It's because even if they had done if they did what they did last season in that regard, it's because what did they lose? How many games did they lose last season?
They lost about 4 last
season.
season.
Do you know what I'm saying?
They did. I think it was 4.
We've lost one game and drawn one. We're on crud because we know what it, which I love now. We were in a title chat thing last season, and they know what it takes. If you're gonna win this league, win as many games as you possibly can. Don't lose. If you lose 1 or 2, that's it, done. So I'm happy. I'm cool. Like,
We're good to go, man.
Well, I guess it's time to start another run then, I guess, isn't it?
let's do it.
We need to go on a nice unbeaten run.
Go on, lads.
Do
Do your thing.
On to other things. So obviously, as we know, at the same time, we're top of the league. Coming out in the press today was the fact that with the outbreak of the coronavirus,
Jesus Christ.
that the league could be stopped and be null and void. Like,
It's rubbish.
Listen, yeah, when I first saw that link, it was some scud site, and I was like, don't worry about this. Then I saw it again in the Mail. Then I saw it in the Independent.
oh, it's in the Independent.
Yeah,
I
it's-
only
it's-
hit the Daily
It's
Mail.
the same story. It's just just
Yeah.
rehashed.
Yeah, obviously.
And then my heart started to like thump a little bit. I'm like, could this actually happen?
Thumping, you know.
No, man, it did. And then not long after that, I got some mad texts with like all of the cases in Europe and the rest of the world. And I see the UK down the list somewhere like with 20. I'm like, these people are gassing in it. There's 20 cases in the whole of the UK.
And none of them fatal as well.
20 cases.
And that 20, how many people in the UK? How many billion people in the UK?
Do you know what I mean? I'm like, are they just fucking with us, or is this actually real?
Don't get me started this coronavirus thing, because I think it's the biggest load of nonsense. The reason I don't really believe in a thing, because honestly, if something as deadly as what it is, airports and stuff should have been stopped from ages ago. People are still moving. People move all the time. People are on the move, whether it be someone getting on a plane from Spain or from Italy and getting a train after that from Amsterdam into London. It is what it is, innit? If it was gonna pop off, I'm telling you now, I think it's actually mad arrogance that we actually think, hey, like, we're doing a great job of stopping it coming here. Man, if it was going to come here, it was coming here, bro. No, you're not going to stop it. Liverpool winning the league this season. This thing's not going to happen. In a couple of weeks'
Bruce,
time,
amen to that, please.
in a couple of weeks' time, this thing's going to blow over. All you lot need to do is think, what were they up to behind the scenes? Ebola was this big thing. Ebola's been around for time. All of a sudden, Ebola shifted. The swine flu, all these things, bro. Don't watch that, you lot. It's nonsense. It's nonsense.
Hey, my brother. Yes. Okay, I feel better now, Bruce. I feel
It's
better.
nonsense. Don't believe the hype, bro.
No, it does feel
Too
it does
legit.
feel a bit conspiracy, doesn't
It's
it?
nonsense,
like,
man.
The fact that Liverpool were having the season of their lives, and all of a sudden, like you said, all those other diseases you mentioned didn't manage to stop any sort of sporting
not even near
events. Yeah, but all of a
What?
sudden, Liverpool's league's gonna be null and void because games were gonna be stopped. They're like, no.
Do you know what though? There was that thing today. 5 games in Serie A got cancelled.
Yeah, because it's in
Because
Italy.
it's in
Italy.
Yeah.
But the knock-on effect of that is the Champions League. As
Yeah,
well.
that's the only other.
So
thing,
I'm
the
thinking,
Champions
is it
League.
going to come
Who's
full
left in
circle?
it? Napoli had left in
Napoli
it.
are in
Juve
the,
are in it.
against Barca, innit?
Yeah, Napoli and Juve.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only 2 teams that are in it, aren't they?
So their game's going to go ahead.
But
Because Juve's
Juve-
game got called off.
Well, they're technically then the only thing they
Did
can
you-
do is move it though.
Did Juve play at home last round or away?
Away to Lyon.
Yeah, and they lost. Yeah, they lost to 1-0, didn't
Yeah.
they? And Napoli
were at home.
were at home.
But all of them games have been locked off this weekend.
So technically, Juve's game can get moved. Yeah. If they technically they could get it moved to another country if they have to, and the Napoli game's fine to go ahead because it's in Barcelona, it's in Spain.
Show goes on.
Show goes on.
It
but-
has to.
Yeah.
They can't stop the thing like that. It's
But do you know what?
nonsense.
Champions League doesn't really affect the Premier League, does it? As long as
No, it does. It does because that will set a precedent. If
UEFA starts
starts saying no, we're not playing games or whatever,
think the
you
FA
know
will be
the FA
like,
will jump on it.
wait, we're coming too.
100%. They're followers. They're followers. Look how they're only now investigating Man City after UEFA banned them. They're jumping on it. So we got to be aware of it.
It sounds like it could be a possibility.
But in all fairness, what can we do? If they're going to stop the thing, what can we do?
I tell you what, we
Things
can
coming,
do.
what can
Win
we do?
fucking
4 more
12
games.
points.
Yeah, win 4 more
ASAP.
games and then it's confirmed, isn't
Yeah.
it? If we win 4 more games and it's confirmed, then surely
They can't lock off the season.
They can't make it null and void because we've actually won it. We'd be confirmed.
No one
champions.
else could actually catch us.
Yeah, because it's mathematically impossible.
But then if they give us the title, so to speak, then the teams that finish in the relegation thing, what happens to them then? Because then technically speaking, unless we looking at it from a point of view that they can't, because they can't mathematically if they can,
I
then
think if
they
it
let
was
them all stay.
if it was an actual thing to happen, where the league stops is how the league finishes. That's how I see it.
Okay, everything else
I
underneath
feel
us.
like in Formula 1, if there's a red flag, where you are, because in Formula One, it's a lap. You either finish the laps or there's a specific time limit on the race. So if it's red flagged and the time limit runs out, where you are is where you finish, and that's the classification for the race. So why would it be any different for the Premier League?
Do you know what? Because there would be a potential legal challenge in terms of finances for all those bottom three clubs because they physically can avoid relegation, and for the teams that aren't in the top four that can because the league's been stopped, they can argue that hold on, we've not been given the opportunity to actually get those points.
Nobody was given the opportunity because everybody stopped. So if
but it only benefits us because we've already won the league.
Hold on. If the league stops on 34 games, for argument's sake, then it stops on 34 games for everybody. So the playing field's level. It's like in Formula One, them saying, "Oh, you red flagged the race. I was in 18th. I could have got first." No, the race has stopped where you are. So effectively, the league format changed from 38 games to 34 games. So where you are is where you finish. So I don't feel like a legal challenge is valid because everybody was stopped on the 34 games. See what I mean? If you had 2 or 3 games in hand, so you had 31 and everyone else had 34, then I could understand your point. But if everybody's on the same amount of games, I don't see where your challenge comes into it, mate. The league stops. So for me, whether we've won the 4 games or not, if they have to stop the league, it should still be ours. You can't just scrap the odd games that have gone before that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then, like you said, the knock-on effect, that the relegated teams, the teams in the Championship, in that Leeds and West Brom and all of that who are fighting, then what? Nah.
They're all stuck, basically.
Yeah, it'd be too much of a knock. The easiest way to sort it out and keep it fair, it stops here. Wherever you are is where you are.
I tell you, I'd be a lot more uncomfortable if this was like 2 months ago.
Oh, yeah.
Because we ain't far off now, but we're literally like a month. You know what I mean? And for it to get to them pandemic type situations, it might take a bit longer than that. So can we just hurry up? I mean, today actually pissed me off because of that as well.
100%.
That would have been
I get
free.
That. Just
free,
get
you know
down
what I
to
mean?
3 games.
Yeah.
I get that, definitely.
Mad. Well, let's just hope this coronavirus, in all seriousness, this coronavirus goes away because, I mean, people are losing their lives, whether it's a big pandemic or not. Do you know what I mean? It's never nice for people to lose their lives over something that, you know, can be prevented. Do you know what I mean? People, cough into your hands, wash your hands. Do you know what I mean? Touching everything.
Public health announcement from Slimos there.
Let's not spread it. You know what I mean? But no, seriously, man, let's just hope they find a cure or whatever it is they need to do to get rid of it. Do you know what I mean? And it goes away and it doesn't affect our beautiful season. Do you know what I mean?
Most importantly, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, basically, despite a 3-0 loss to Watford today.
Shit.
Yeah, boys, I think that's it. I think we're good to go now, man.
Right, is that the time already?
Yeah, I think that's
Jesus,
it, man. We've got it off our chest. We feel better now.
No, I'm cool.
Nah.
I'm cool.
Do you know what?
Cool.
I'm okay, man.
To be fair, I'm gonna go home and rewatch the whole match. And
Really?
as painful as it is, I missed most of the first half.
Yeah.
So I need to rewatch it and kind of get it right.
I'm okay with it.
I've bit that long.
I've accepted it.
We're good. We're good. We're
Guys, listen, if you got any views on today's game you want to share with us, if there's something in that you thought we should have been in the episode that we didn't put on, man, just comment down below on the YouTube video. Oh, wow. Yeah, what? Them ones. Cut people off.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you very much. No, I'm joking. If there's anything you feel
Live.
should have been in the episode, you know what I mean? Just comment down below, tweet us. As you can see, you know, Twitter and Instagram are up there. And let us know. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until the next time, people, I've been your boy Slim as always. And to my left,
Out, peeps.
Big Sam to my right.
Bajan Bruce.
Until the next time, people. Peace.